So working here has been honestly amazing. It is like one of the highlights of my life, and I feel like it always will be because I never expected to fall in love with this environment as much as I did. I didn't expect to fall in love with everyone. I feel like as quickly as I did, as far as the staff and the clients. Hello, everyone. My name is Sydney Simmons, and I am the case manager here at FMC. So basically, case management is exactly what the title states. It is the service we offer here where we basically manage the lives of these guys and support them as they try to reach their goal of finding housing. And this work here is important at the center because a lot of these men don't realize the support that they have, and a lot of them don't have support. A lot of the social services were made specifically for women and children, so having a space where men are allowed to be more vulnerable and receive those services is extremely important. So a lot of what we do here is help them obtain vital documents like birth certificates, IDs, social security cards. We also help them enroll in government assisted benefits like SNAP and Medicaid. We'll help them receive free phone service if they're eligible and things along those lines. Of course, the main service that we help with here is getting those vital documents. And it's really helpful because these men in these positions basically have nothing. So them being able to do that is basically them starting from the ground up. They have to use those documents to get jobs and things along those lines, get on the housing list, for instance. Most of the men we work with are middle-aged, African American men predominantly, and unfortunately, a lot of them have addictions, which is why so many of them have become homeless or mental illnesses or other mental illnesses. But those issues worsening because of a traumatic event like the death of a family member or like a failed relationship. A lot of guys have ended up in this situation because of failed relationships. And, like I said, they may have had pre-existing mental health conditions, may have had addictions, and it kind of just worsens and they don't really know how to, you know, as they were falling, they couldn't really catch themselves. A lot of this job is literally just taking people as they are, and the main or like the most important part of being able to do that is listening, I would say, and just accepting what's in front of you. If a guy tells you he has an addiction, you must learn what comes with that, and so on and so forth. Like, of course, if he's homeless, he's been chronically homeless. You have to realize that this is not going to be an easy task. Of course, it's going to take a while. So it takes a lot of listening. It takes a lot of patience to be able to help them get to their goals. And that's another thing. You have to remember that you're helping them get to their goal. So whatever that is for them, it may look different for different people, but this is their story, first and foremost. So listening to them and helping them with whatever it is they need in that moment. Hopefully you're able to like motivate them and remind them that you're there to support them as you go on. But as far as like, change specifically and like knowing which guy is going to get to this point, you really have no idea, because I've worked with guys I feel like who seem really close and it's like it's something holding them back. And then I've worked with guys where like I didn't really see it going much further than where it did. And then some of those guys were the ones who ended up with housing. And while I wish that it was more success stories, I have met a few guys who have done amazing things. One in particular I'm thinking about, I literally watched him blossom into an amazing human being. He came in and would barely speak. He didn't even come to my office, didn't receive my services or anything, would just come here, eat. And now he's not only in an apartment, but he's like one of the guys who participates in most of our services. He's always talking, which is a great thing, being able to hear his voice. But there are a lot of success stories, and I feel like that's like the best, but also the hardest part of the job. Wanting everyone to be that success story. It doesn't happen, of course. So I have to like work on not attaching myself to their outcomes. But I feel like a lot of people in this position are often overlooked. And it's part of the reason why I wanted to work with this population, corrections in general. A lot of people have given up hope when it comes to these guys because of their age, because of their background. So being able to be here is a great feeling, especially when the guys will tell me things like, I didn't know services like this existed, or Sydney, you've been a great help. That's always been the goal, but like it feels good when guys actually tell you that, the people who you're actually helping. I have a background in counseling, psychology, and social work, and my main goal was to eventually get to become a therapist in a correctional setting. I kind of wanted to do case management too there, so I figured this would be a great first step, considering a lot of our guys have been incarcerated. But even before then, as a child, I just always loved helping people. And when I was 10 years old, my brother did pass away. So I definitely think that that was something that fueled me even more to want to do this type of work. Because fortunately for me, I had the support of others around me in such a dark period of my life. So being able to provide that to other people is something I always wanted to be able to do. So working here has been honestly amazing. It is like one of the highlights of my life, and I feel like it always will be, because I never expected to fall in love with this environment as much as I did. I didn't expect to fall in love with everyone. I feel like as quickly as I did, as far as the staff and the clients. And I feel like this place is pretty unique because it's not too many of us that work here. So it's almost like every time someone comes in that's new, they're like drawn into the energy and space that this place provides. A lot of guys have told me that too. One of the main questions I get asked is how I'm able to remain so patient and calm when it comes to working with these guys. And I would say the main thing is working on myself. So I have no problem with saying that I see a therapist myself. I have seen other mental health professionals, and I basically take care of what I need to take care of for myself, right? So that not only includes emotional, mental health, obviously physical health too, which allows me to recognize the issues I have, the problems that I have in this type of environment, and improve upon those, and basically just remain balanced as much as I can. Now, I do have my moments where I get upset with the guys, of course, but I'm only human. So, of course, giving myself grace and reminding myself too that I am only human. I'm learning with them as well, especially when it comes to meeting a new guy. I don't know him, he doesn't know me, so I'm learning him as he's learning me. But you never know when you can find yourself in this type of position, because when it comes to a lot of guys' stories, they may not necessarily have mental health issues, addictions, and things along those lines. They just lost housing because of an extremely traumatic event one time. Sometimes that's literally all it takes. So being grateful for what you have, and keeping in mind, what could happen, because life happens, of course, and anything could come along with that. Remember, you are never alone, that there are people out there who are willing to help and want to help. You are loved, of course, and as long as you have like the confidence, of course, and belief in yourself, you will get to where you need to get to in life.